Honorable Governor of Karnataka, Sri Tawarchand Gadhodji, Vice-Chancellors, Senior Academic Faculty, distinguished dignitaries, and all others who have all joined this conference today. Friends, it is my pleasure to indeed to address such a distinguished galaxy of intellectuals who are the academic captains of our country. I was informed that along with the Vice-Chancellors, the executive heads of APEX bodies in higher education and senior academic faculty members of Indian universities have also congregated to discuss and deliberate on crucial issues like sustainable development goals in this meet. Before I share my views, let me compliment each one of you for being part of this meet organized by the Association of Indian Universities. It is heartening to note that this prestigious organization is one of the oldest flagship bodies of universities in the world. It is also a matter of delight that stalwarts like Dr. Shyamprasad Mukherjee, Dr. Sarvepalli Radhakrishna, Dr. Zakir Hussain, Dr. A.L. Madriyar, and many more eminent educationists and astute statesmen adorned this organization as presidents. Today, when AIU is celebrating its 96th Foundation Day, I deem it an honor to address you all on how the Indian education institutions can play a vital role in realizing the sustainable development goals set by the United Nations. As you are all aware, the United Nations have set this sustainable development goal comprising 17 sustainable development goals was signed by most countries more than 7 years ago. The recent United Nations report indicates that the progress achieved in these goals is uneven and that more needs to be done. According to the 21 report, 3 Nordic countries, Finland, Sweden, and Denmark, top the list. Countries like Germany, Australia, and UK and Spain are in the top 20. And in the list, India is in the 120th position. This is a matter that has to be taken seriously. We must remember the fact that saving the planet ought to be a collective effort of all countries. We can ill afford to lose sight of the relevance of the adage, Vasudhaika Kutumbakam, in this context. India is the second largest population. It is one of the critical countries where the achievements of the Sustainable Development Goals will be essential to realize the 2030 agenda in the next decade. Poverty and illiteracy are challenges we need to surmount as a society in our quest to achieve Sustainable Development Goals. Other factors which are hindering our march towards the progress: child malnutrition, gender inequality, equitable access to safe water, and environmental pollution. Thus, there is a long road ahead that needs to traverse to achieve the SDG Agenda 2030. Niti Aayog has created a national framework to work towards achieving these goals. The Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation is assisting Niti Aayog, interacting with other ministries and developing indicators on SDG goals and targets. As is evident, achieving these goals is not the responsibility of any particular organization, ministry, or government. It needs a concerted effort from all stakeholders, including civil society, industries, NGOs, and most importantly, our educational institutions. The contribution of educational institutions is of critical importance. Primary, secondary, and higher education institutions need to be conscious and adopt practices that lead to the achievement of SDGs. Colleges and universities have a bigger role to play in this regard. It's very key for this achieving these goals. They can contribute in a number of ways, such as research, policy development, and engagement with societies for creating awareness and effective implementation of sustainable development strategies, apart from preparing students for the challenges of the 21st century. As you are all aware, India's higher education sector is the third largest in the world. It is a throbbing educational hub with around 1,050 universities, more than 10,000 professional technical institutes, and 42,343 colleges in both the public and private sector. If all our higher education institutions come forward to contribute towards the accomplishment of goals, our achievement will be very significant and it will make a major impact on the overall world scenario. Unfortunately, so far, most of the higher education institutions have remained almost disconnected in the SDG Agenda 2030. When it comes to integration of the SDGs in the operation of higher education institutions, we still have a long way to go. So I congratulate the Association of Indian Universities and its president, Dr. Tiruvasagam, and other members for taking this initiative in conducting these brainstorming sessions in this seminar towards realizing these SDG goals. My dear Vice-Chancellors and distinguished gurus, as you are all aware, India has a glorious past. Knowledge generation, application, and dissemination to the world. The existence of universities like Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramshila, Vallabhi, and Vadanpuri in ancient India bear ample testimony to the fact that India had an age-old tradition of education and learning which has made it Vasvaguru at one time. The essence of the ancient knowledge systems of India in the form of Vedas and Upanishads, Puranas, Itihas, among others, the greatness of Indian culture and the traditional lifestyle of Indians have been passed on from generation to generation till today. The versatility of our knowledge systems and culture and their enduring significance make them relevant forever. For example, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, the most popular prayer of Indians in which we pray God to keep all beings happy, would be an everlasting wish of all individuals and society. Today, India stands poised on the threshold of a world of historic responsibilities and opportunities. It is now one of the emerging superpowers with improved education, development of resources and jobs, better infrastructure and healthcare, among others. The NEP, the New Education Policy, is a foresighted document which is bound to transform the educational landscape of our country. Its recommendations are aligned with the SDGs, and its scope and vision encompasses complete overhauling of the Indian education system from pre-primary to higher education, and along with curriculum reform to institutional reform in a phased manner. We need to overhaul our education system. I am certain that implementation of this policy in letter and spirit will help us to achieve the SDG agenda. As I understand, there will be discussion on all the SDGs in various sessions, which will primarily address the role of colleges and universities in giving an impetus to the larger objective of accomplishing SDGs. Exchange of ideas, knowing from others' experience, that is very vital. Besides, I learned that there will be a stock taking of global progress towards achieving these goals. It is important to share knowledge, as I was telling, highlight success stories and good practices. At the same time, it is also important to identify areas of concern and challenges and suggest the way forward in terms of action for higher education institutions, government, and other stakeholders. A welcome aspect, this particular aspect, is that it points for higher education institutions. They will be covered in all the three dimensions: teaching, research, and community development. Let me share another deep-seated wish of mine, that is to see Indian universities ranked among the top 10 universities of the world. That is the wish of the people of India. All universities should set higher standards in academic excellence, including research, knowledge creation, and focus on infrastructure development while ensuring equitable access to education. I also feel that the private sector also has got a bigger role. We must promote public-private partnership. Government alone cannot do this. So it is also the duty of private sector to join this endeavor. I also congratulate the AIU for its 96 years of successful journey and convey my best wishes for all the future endeavors. As I told you, my dear friends, we have a great challenge. And all of us must join together to face that challenge and again make India as Vishwaguru once again. That should be our endeavor. I wish you all the best. Parliament is in session, so I have to go to Parliament. That's why I'm not able to spend much of the time. Thank you very much. Namaskar. Jai Hind.